Hello and welcome back to the channel, and behind me is the Army Museum and that big dome thing over there. Well, one small Napoleon is buried over there. That is where Napoleon's tomb is. A little bit of a fact there for you, and being a tour guide for Paris, well, we will have our vlogs up later which will have a very in-depth tour on exactly how Steve is taking you through Paris. But right now, in the rain, we're going to be talking a little bit about South Africa versus Ireland and a look ahead. We've yet to see the Ireland team, so we can only speculate about what's going to be named later by Andy Farrell. But I thought we'd take a bit of a moment to talk about where we're at as South Africans, what we're looking forward to on Saturday, and where this game could be won and lost. There's a lot of talk about the 7-1 split. In fact, all the talk is about the 7-1 split. I want to move a little bit further than that. Yes, we know that's a 7-1 split. We know the potential ramifications. But where is this game going to be won and lost? Because it's more than just the extra 2 forwards on the bench, because we do expect Ireland to go with a 5-3 split. It's more than just the 7-1. That is far more the way this game is going to be won. The big thing for us as the Springboks is the defence. How do you shut down the multifaceted Ireland attack? How do you shut down Johnny Sexton? How do you stop Bundy Aki from sort of rampaging through? How do you keep a Josh van der Vlier quiet? How do you neutralize a Tyke Furlong? That for me are far more important questions. The Ireland pack is world class. It is world class. That scrum battle is going to be huge. Steven Kitsov against a Tyke Furlong, Andrew Porter against a Frans Malherbe. Who's going to win that scrum battle? Tight 5. You've got to probably have a Tyke Burn potentially in that pack. Eben Etzebeth, Pierce Steph, Toy, Josh van der Vlier, Siya Kolisi. There are so many matchups. So from a pack perspective, obviously that is where a game's foundation is created. So who is going to have the upper hand? I personally think that the South African pack can not only match, I wouldn't say dominate necessarily, but I think we've got the edge. I think we can put them on the back foot if we get under, if we start well. I do think we do have the ability to potentially outscrum them. And I think if Ireland are going backwards slightly, I think that obviously makes Johnny Sexton's life that little bit harder. When they've got that go-forward ball, and they can, have players coming off the shoulders. They've got that reverse pass back at the fringes of rucks, which is always so dangerous. That is where Ireland are at their best. So we've got to make sure that our rush defence is on point. Any slip tackles, Ireland are going to exploit like that. They've all got, all the backline players got good offload games. A Gary Ringrose, you give him space, he'll find a pass. Mac Hansen is a very highly skilled winger. He's more than just a finisher. James Lowe's got a big boot on him as well. Hugo Keenan's got a great skill set. So defensively, I think that's where the game's going to be won by the Springboks. It's about how do we shut down that Ireland defence. And, I think for me, a very important aspect is going to be around the sort of the racks, around those fringes where we've seen a couple of inside balls, a couple of pops here and there. So your Pierce Steph the Toys, your Franco Masters, I think the players who are often operating at the pillars are going to have to be awake. Because if they're not, we're going to see inside balls being executed, and that's going to tear us apart very quickly. On the attack, all eyes on Manie Libbok. How is he going to go? Again, this comes down to the pack. You've got to give him front foot ball. If Manie Libbok gets front foot ball, he's got the bag of chips. We've already seen a no-look cross kick try assist. He's got Damon Delendi inside him. So that Damon Delendi versus Bundy Aki battle is going to be very important. But he's got X-factor on the wings in a Kirkley Arendse, Cheslin Colby. Damian Williams at full back. We've got players who can get past their opposition. They've got players who've got the pace. So there's a lot of different dimensions to the Springbok attack that we've got, which I don't think we had 4 years ago. We've got chip aheads. We've got chip over the top. We've got cross kicks. We've got sort of, longer pass options. We're definitely more evolved with regards to our attack. The question comes down to the implementation. And as I keep sort of reinforcing, it all comes down to the scrum battle, and all comes down to that pack battle. Lineouts, Ireland have been struggling a little bit, but they have been looking to change their lineup up a bit. I expect them to go far more basic this weekend. I think they'll go far more to the front of the lineout and kind of guarantee that ball. I don't think we'll see them going over the top too much. Similarly, I don't think the Springboks will get too fancy. I think Franco Mostert will be calling most of it. And, Bongi Manami starting will obviously be a much safer option than when Dion Free or Malcolm Starden takes over later. The big thing, I think, obviously, is the start. The Springboks have to start well. We start well, and that gives us the best chance. You can't plan for a good start, in the words of Jacques Nielba, but you can plan to start with intensity. And if the Boks can start with the same intensity we've seen over the last couple of games, then I think it holds them in pretty good stead. Ireland are the #1 team in the world for good reason. Write them off at your own peril. Do not take them lightly. But this Springbok side pitches up. There's no doubt in my mind that we can push them all the way and get a result.